What is up, people of the universe? I'm KidJaydenENY. Today I'm actually going to be making my long overdue fanfic tutorial, which I had promised like a couple months back, but I never actually made it. I'm making it now, so yeah, there's that. There are 4 things as a fanfic creator that you'll want to pay attention to and keep track of as you make your fanfic. 1. Story. 2. Continuity. 3. Recording. And 4. Editing. And we'll start with story first. Okay, so the story of your fanfic. What can't be said about it? Without a story, you don't have a fanfic to create. How I went about making Bloodlines a story was, I originally wrote it on paper. It still is on paper, most of the script. I haven't really transitioned it over. But nowadays, when I'm making scripts at home and I have a computer with me, I like to use Google Docs because Google Docs is awesome. That's what we're making the Dragon Ball Crossmo script on. That's where the Budoten scripts are. So, yeah. I recommend a platform to save your scripts on. Google Docs, obviously. That's awesome. It also, if you plan to make a series with 2 people, then, you can have 2 people scripting at once. So, yeah. Now, the actual story itself. When I made Bloodlines, I planned the entire series out from start to finish, and since then, there have been subtle changes in between. I'm rewriting the Season 2 Arc 1 script, but, if you plan it out and you have some sort of guideline to look back at, it's a great thing because you'll know what's coming next and you won't make any plot holes. And basically what that does is, it keeps your series as bulletproof as possible, as bulletproof as it can be, because the last thing you want is plot holes, because, people are skeptics and they will point stuff out like, oh, well, how does this happen if this happens? That's happened before. Well, not in my case. I haven't seen anything like that in Bloodlines, but in the Bloodlines comment sections anyways. But I've definitely seen a lot of it in Budoten. So, yeah. I recommend planning your series out from start to finish. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I recommend it because it's the most bulletproof, guarantee what is going to happen, blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 zot, 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 zot. Yeah. Next up is continuity. This is basically a part 2 to the story section of this video, but I really need to reiterate that, you'd really want your story to be as bulletproof as it can be, because you don't want plot holes, you don't want these stupid things, you don't want to forget what you've made in the past, like Toriyama, for example. That's why I planned my stuff out. I didn't want any continuity issues or anything like that. So yeah, this one is sort of a smaller section of the video, but keep continuity in mind when you're writing your story. Next up is recording. Recording is sort of like, I wouldn't say it's the backbone, but it's what keeps your series going, because, there's a lot of fanfics out there that don't record with a capture card, and, my advice to you is do not just wait, okay? If you don't have a capture card, just wait until you do to make your fanfic. Don't be impatient and record your screen with a camcorder or your iPhone camera. It makes it look unprofessional and awkward, and you can see your reflection through the TV screen. I've seen a lot of fanfics like that. But yeah, just wait it out until you can afford a capture card. I recommend either 2 of the Elgatos, either the Elgato HD or the Elgato HD60. The HD60, the only benefit over that is you can record 1080p 60 FPS, but if you're doing Ultimate Tenkaichi, you don't really need that one, because, you're not going to... Ultimate Tenkaichi is 30 FPS. If you're doing a Raging Blast 2 or Raging Blast 1 fanfic, go all out with it, Get a HD60 if you want, but it's not necessary. I recommend the Elgato, the standard Elgato HD. There are other capture cards in the market, like the Roxio Game Capture HD Pro, which I've heard it's kind of shit. I don't know. Sev said it's pretty alright. There's also the HD PVR2, which I also heard was kind of garbage. But yeah, I straight up recommend Elgato. Their stuff has never failed me in the past, and the recording software is pretty cool. Also, keep in mind that you won't be able to record your fanfic without a computer, because unless you have the AverMedia Live Gamer Portable or any of the AverMedia capture cards, you're not going to be recording your fanfic. Because if you get an AverMedia, you can actually save. You don't have to have your capture card connected to a computer to record. You can have a external drive, or you could have a flash drive, or anything like that, and you could record. It'll save to whatever device you have connected to it, and bam, you can edit it on whatever you're editing on. Speaking of editing, let's go into that. In terms of editing, this is where I see a lot of fanfics drop the ball, the newer ones anyways, the beginners. And I don't blame them, because most fanfics excuse me, zot. Most fanfic creators, when they begin, don't really have much experience with video editing or anything like that, and they usually don't have that good of an editing program. You know, I know a lot of new and upcoming fanfic creators who have just Windows Movie Maker. In my case, I use Sony Vegas Pro 11. So any of the Sony Vegases are great. Get any Sony Vegas and you'll be good to go. In terms of editing, it's got everything you need. If you're going for something a little bit more high-end, you can go for Adobe Premiere, which I heard was pretty kick-ass. But yeah, I recommend Sony Vegas Pro. It doesn't look user-friendly, or beginner-friendly, but it is kind of beginner-friendly. A couple of tutorials and you're good to go, and you can fly off, you know, spouting all different rainbow Super Saiyan colors as you make your fanfic. Onto the actual editing process of your fanfic. Now, I see this is where a lot of up-and-coming fanfic creators drop the ball again, because they don't capture what I call fight flow, alright? Fight flow, if I can describe it in words, is the continuity of the fight. Not the continuity of the story, the fight. And what that means is, for example, if you have a character getting knocked down and he smashes into the ground, then all of a sudden this character is punching the person who knocked him into the ground, and he comes out like unfazed. He didn't even get out of the ground or get up and jump up into the sky or anything. That is what you do not want to do. What you want to do is make sure that you don't have moments like that. And I can't really explain it in words, so I'll just show you a clip. One final note on editing. Mega Man 33570, who edits Budo 10 Element X, he makes this mistake. He doesn't double check after editing the entirety of his fanfic episode to make sure if there are any errors. You need to go back and double check. If you do not and make an error, it will bite you in the ass. So I really, really hope you go back and look at everything. Just rewatch the episode, double check, triple check if you have to. I triple check. I try to make sure nothing is bad, because I don't want these useless clips in the fight that make no sense and are just out of place. You really should just work on that. Just don't be that guy. Don't be Mega L33570, okay? This man had to re-render the latest episode of Budo 10 because he made a mistake and left a line in. A bunch of impacts, actually. So yeah, don't be Mega Drunk 335L0. Be KidJaydenENY. No, don't actually be me, because I like being me. And I don't want anybody else to be me. But yeah, just double check, triple check if you have to. And that's pretty much it for the editing part. The next part of the video is voice acting. Voice acting is not something I have in Bloodlines right now, but it will be incorporated in Season 2. As of right now, I use subtitles. If you watch Bloodlines, you already know that I use subtitles as of now. When I go into Season 2, I will have a full cast of voice actors. And in fact, I am casting for roles right now in Season 2. You also have to understand that adding voice acting into your series is kind of a huge undertaking, because you have to go out of your way to post a casting call on either Casting Call Club or Behind the Voice Actors, and wait it out until people audition for the roles in your series, and then you have to cast the roles, choose between many different voice actors, some talented, some not really. I mean, if you want to see what I mean, go check out the Bloodlines casting call. And you have to choose who you're going to cast, and you have to give them the rundown, give them their lines. And I do recommend, if you're going to have voice acting, don't do all the lines yourself. And if you're going to cast other people, if you do have voice acting, voice direct them. Make sure they sound exactly how you want them to sound in the show. Okay, so you don't want somebody to sound not out of character. What's the word I'm looking for? You don't want them to sound out of place, I guess, because there are characters like Neva in Budo 10 Element X who just don't sound right at all. And, no emotion. You need to make sure that the voice actor you've casted can do what you want them to do and can do what you need them to do. So as I said before, voice acting is a huge undertaking. I couldn't do it for Season 1, definitely happening for Season 2, and that's all for voice acting. And that's pretty much all for this tutorial. I hope it helped you out. It probably didn't, because I'm kind of shit at this type of stuff. But if it did, leave a comment if it actually works. I mean, I'm just doing it to see if it'll work. And also, it's been requested in the past, and I kind of did promise it a couple months ago, and I'm finally getting around to it. But yeah, that's all to this tutorial. If it was trash, let me know, because, I kind of want to know if it's trash to you guys or not. But thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to 5-star that like button, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. See you in Universe 2.